Hi guys, it's the Mill Tube here, and today we are back again with the championship predictions. The games are coming in thick and fast. This game week is game week 25, I believe, so let's jump straight into it. So starting off at St Mary's, we have Southampton versus Plymouth, and wow, Southampton are an absolute fire right now. They just come off a 5-0 win against Swansea on Boxing Day. You know, with Ipswich dropping points again, they are right up their backsides, ain't they? And although Plymouth are coming off a good point against Cardiff away, I really don't see them taking any points off Southampton here. So I'm going to go for a scoreline of Southampton 3, Plymouth 0. Next up, we have Birmingham versus Bristol City, and I've got to say I was definitely not expecting Stoke to batter Birmingham on Boxing Day, and I think that just says it shows how bad Birmingham are, because losing 3-1 to Stoke, who are not a good side themselves, really shows how bad Birmingham really are. And of course Bristol City are coming off a really shock win, a shock 4-1 win against Watford away. Brilliant performance from the Robin, so I really don't see Birmingham getting anything from this game. So I'm going to go for a scoreline of Birmingham 1, Bristol City 3. Over to Wales, we have Cardiff versus Leicester, and of course it was late heartbreak for Leicester on Boxing Day as they drew 1-1 to Ipswich, but let's be honest, I doubt they're too bothered as they are still about 50 points clear of third. And for Cardiff, of course, they failed to beat Plymouth at home, and considering Plymouth's really poor away form, it is quite a poor result for Cardiff, so I don't see Cardiff getting anything from this game. So I'm going to go for a scoreline of Cardiff 0, Leicester 2. Now for Coventry versus Swansea, and of course Coventry are slowly putting themselves back in the playoff picture. They've been very good of late, and for Swansea, of course, like I mentioned earlier, they are coming off the heavy 5-0 defeat away to Southampton on Boxing Day, so I can only see this game going one way. Coventry 3, Swansea 1. Over to the John Smith Stadium, we have Huddersfield versus Middlesbrough, and both sides are coming off quite shock results on Boxing Day. Huddersfield beating Blackburn 3-0, and Middlesbrough losing 1-0 away to Rotherham. So yeah, I'm really not sure with this one, to be honest. I do think Middlesbrough have more quality than Huddersfield, but Huddersfield are the team in confidence, so I see nothing separating the two sides. 1-1 draw. Next up, we have Hull versus Blackburn, and of course, as I just mentioned, Blackburn are coming off a really disappointing result against Huddersfield, and Hull are also, to be fair, of course, they lost to Sunderland 1-0 at home. And I know I did say this last time about Hull, and they did lose, but I do see them putting things right this time against a really poor Blackburn side, let's be honest, at the moment. So I'm going to go for a scoreline of Hull City 1, Blackburn 0. Over to Portman Road, we have Ipswich versus QPR, and of course I watched QPR for a full 90 minutes on Boxing Day, and I've got to say they showed absolutely nothing, no quality whatsoever. So like Hull, I do see Ipswich putting things right this game after dropping points in their last 2 games. So I'm going to go for a scoreline of Ipswich 4, QPR 1. Now for Millwall versus Norwich. Big win for us on Boxing Day against QPR. Weren't the best performance, but a much needed 3 points. And for Norwich, of course, they're coming off a 1-0 loss to West Brom on Boxing Day, but no shame to losing to them as they are a top side in the division this season. So my prediction for this game, can we finally get a bit of consistency going this season? I really hope so. I'm going to go for an optimistic 1-0 win to Millwall. Over to Deepdale, we have Preston versus Sheffield Wednesday, and of course Preston got a big shock win against Leeds United on Boxing Day, putting themselves back in the playoff picture. And for Sheffield Wednesday, of course, their good little run that they had put together is looking like that's come to an end after 2 back-to-back losses. So I do see Preston winning this game, continuing their charge into the playoffs. So I'm going to go for a scoreline of Preston 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Next up we have Rotherham versus Sunderland, and in these videos I always sort of write off Rotherham, and a lot of the time rightly so, but to be fair, they are coming off a big win against Middlesbrough at home like I mentioned earlier, and Sunderland are also coming off a big win on Boxing Day against Hull. So these are two sides that are going into this game with confidence, but I do think Sunderland do have the cutting edge. They just do have more quality than Rotherham, don't they? So I'm going to go for a scoreline of Rotherham 1, Sunderland 2. Now for Watford versus Stoke. Of course, Watford are coming off that freak result, let's be honest, against Bristol City on Boxing Day, so they are going to want to respond big with this game, and Stoke are coming off a really big win themselves, to be fair, beating Birmingham away 3-1, Schumacher's first win in charge of them, so they are going into this game with confidence. So I do see this being quite a high scoring game, so I'm going to go for a scoreline of Watford 3, Stoke City 2. Finally we have West Brom versus Leeds, and of course Leeds did bottle the chance to get even closer to Ipswich on Boxing Day by losing 2-1 to Preston away, and of course West Brom are coming off a really good win at home to an in-form Norwich side. So my score prediction for this game, I think Leeds are going to lose again, you know. I'm going to go for a scoreline of West Brom 1, Leeds United 0. Leeds are falling apart again. So there you go, they were my championship predictions for the Friday night games. Please do leave yours in the comments below. So I'll see you all on Friday night against Norwich. Come you Lions.